Are you ready?
All ready.
Okay. Mark Bentz is our next speaker on resiliency, and he's born and raised in Vancouver. Mark started losing his sight at the age of 9, but he hasn't allowed his blindness to stop him from living an outstanding life. He is director and owner at Electra Health, Canada's largest multidisciplinary clinic in downtown Vancouver. Mark loves adventure and international travel. Some of the most recent adventurous memories were trekking to Everest Base Camp, riding a camel through the Sahara Desert, and river rafting through the Grand Canyon. That's amazing. Mark is also an avid hockey player and the vice president of the Canadian Blind Hockey Association, and this has been his passion, to help blind kids and youth build resilience through playing the nations. He's also a competitive alpine skier. He made headlines in 1984 when he won 2 gold medals at the Winter Paralympic Games in Innsbruck, Austria. Mark is a perfect example of not living with limitations, but living the life he wants to live. Please welcome Mark Bentz.
Thanks, Kim. Excellent. Getting up here is half the problem, okay? Here on it, it's easy.
Hi, welcome. That was a really good intro. That's actually half my speech, so I might be shorter. No. I remember the day like it was yesterday. My mom and I were sitting in the doctor's office, and we had been there all day. And my headache was pounding, my head was pounding, and my eyes were so sore. I had all these eye drops. We'd be going test after test. And the assistant called us back into the office. And we get in there, and the doctor comes in, and he says to my mom, "You better get your son ready. He's gonna be blind by the age of 19. And I just was not ready for that. I mean, I'm a 9-year-old boy. I mean, I'm thinking, I want to go play. Like, can I not just go out and play football with my friends? And then I'm thinking, how am I going to bike? How am I going to ride my bicycle? I mean, when you're 9, your bike means everything to you. And then I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to go skiing? And all these things are just racing through my mind. And, well, we left the doctor's office, and I just knew that life was going to be very different for me. And we get into the car, and my mom, who's here today, she goes, "You know, son, I know that didn't sound good." And she's the ultimate optimist. And I was like, "You're right, that didn't sound very good." But she says, "You are gonna live the life you want to live. You will have the dreams that you want to achieve." And God, I just remember going, wow, man, she's amazing. Because God, what he told me wasn't too basic, you know. It didn't sound very good to me. But my mom has always been with me, and she's the most amazing person. So thanks for being here again, Mom. So what ended up happening is I was on the road to resilience. There was no term for me back then called resilience. It was get it done, or you're not going to have a good time, basically. Like, life better be figured out, and you better figure it out quickly. And that's what I learned to do. And so everything from 9, and now I'm 51, I am constantly figuring out how to do things. So today, like the other speakers, we look up on the internet and we say, hey, what is the definition of resilience? Right? I mean, that's what you do, right? You go for speaking, you do resilience. So I look it up, and it's like how to recover from difficulties. And like Aidan said, like quickly seems a bit strange to me, right? I mean, the point is, yeah, you recover from difficulties. Sometimes it's a very long time. Sometimes you might recover very quickly. But that is actually exactly what I had to do. And so I wanted to share with you what were the 3 things that really, really helped me. 3 things were hunger, focus, and action. And I have a personal experience and a professional experience to illustrate this. So personally, I love skiing. We skied all our lives. We started when we were 2, and it was everything to me. And when we were 10, 11, and 12, my friends, we used to go up to Grouse Mountain, take the bus, and we would ski all day long, 11 hours a day. We'd wake up the next morning, Sunday, we would ski all day long. And as you can imagine, if you're a skier on the North Shore here, it's not really good most of the time, right? It's raining, it's foggy, it's rarely a good day. But when you're 10, 11, and 12, it's always a good day. And one of the reasons were there was a group of guys called the Crazy Canucks. Back in the late 70s, they were a group of skiers, and they were on the World Cup downhill circuit. And they were starting to win, and they were beating the Austrians. And so when you're a young man and you love the sport and these people are winning, you look up to them. You just can't believe it. You're like, my God, that's who I want to be. And so I identified with a guy named Steve Boborski. That's who I wanted to be. And so when we went up to Grouse, it was very strange the way we used to ski. We would line up at the top of the run, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, and we'd say, go. And the first one at the bottom wins. Now that's pretty exciting. But it's not so cool when you're losing your eyesight, right? It becomes a little bit more stressful, and there's a few more consequences. And I had some wild crashes, just wild, hitting snow fences, running into people, catching edges, going off into the bushes. I mean, it was wild, okay? And but what was cool about it was hunger. I was so hungry to be with my friends. And the meaning I attached to losing my eyesight and not being able to ski was my friends were going to be taken away from me because we wouldn't be able to share this experience. So for me, hunger was everything. There was nothing going to get in the way of this. And so when I look at it, it's like, okay, how am I going to figure it out? Well, focus. Can I focus on the problem? Can I focus on the solution? Well, I knew the problem. I was losing my eyesight. The solution was I wanted to be with my friends for a very long time. So I figured out a very cool way of doing it. I would ski behind John at the very top. As it got a little bit steeper, Jake was good when it got steep, and then I would swing him behind Al when the bumps were around. And so I learned how to get down the run, and then at the very bottom, I would swing out and pass them and win. And nothing irritated my friends than having the blind guy win. Like, oh God, they were irritated. But this is how I trained. And then, of course, doing that, action. You have to do it. I had no other options. And what's cool about having no other options is you really find out what you can do. And I found out I was a pretty good skier. And so I moved ahead a few years. My mom and family were up at Whistler, and my mom sees this lady, and she's an amputee, and she's got a bib on. And she goes skiing over to her, and she says, what are you doing? And she goes, oh, I'm up here with the BC Disabled Ski Team, and this is the provincial championships. And my mom goes, well, that's just great. My son's an amazing skier, and he's visually impaired. What can he do? And so, long story short, I get involved and go through the local, provincial, and national organization. And 2 years later, I find myself in Innsbruck, Austria, in the Paralympics, in the event of downhill skiing that I loved, right? I'm Steve Boborski back when I'm 10, right? So now I'm Steve Boborski in the starting gate. And this is exactly how it went in 1984. So the race official goes, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3. Well, I should tell you about downhill skiing, actually. Should I tell you about how guiding works? So I'm with my guide, Keith. And what happens with your guide is he takes off in front of you, and then you chase him down the mountain as fast as you can. And the first team to the bottom wins. Okay, so back to 3. 3, Keith takes off. 2, 1, I take off. And we just start going. Because in downhill skiing, it's all about the speed. Okay? So we are cooking. And I'm like, whoa, this is so amazing, right? And then, whoa, whoa, and I'm like, oh man, a minute and about 15, minute 20, of course, I'm not counting, but when I look back on it. And suddenly I'm like, ooh, Keith is getting really close to me. And I'm like, ooh, I'm catching up to Keith. Oh no, I shouldn't be actually passing Keith. And I start screaming, Keith, Keith, Keith. He's like, what? And just as he says that, I go, I'm passing you. And away I go. And I pass the guy. And he's like, oh my God. And he's like, straight ahead. And it all gets very tense quickly, right? Because the blind guy shouldn't pass the guy. Okay? So I'm going this, he's screaming. Suddenly we get to a steep part. He passes me. Boom, boom, 2 more turns, another roller, boom, across the finish line. The teammates go crazy, the media goes crazy. Keith looks up to the time board, and we are second ahead. a second ahead in downhill skiing is a very good position to be in. Okay? Just for those who don't know. Because they time it usually in tenths of a second or hundredths of a second. So I'm a second ahead. I'm a second. Unbelievable. The only problem here is the best guy's yet to come. The number one in the world, last to go, and away he goes down the run. And I'm sitting there and I'm like so tense, my bum's too tight, and Keith's stressed out, and my teammates are hugging each other. And we're like, oh my God. Passes the finish line. Whew, nowhere close. We're still a second ahead. Keith goes crazy, I go crazy, and I'm just sitting there going, this is unbelievable. I am suddenly a gold medalist I could never have dreamed of this years ago. And it all came about because of being resilient, because of that hunger, because of that focus, because of that action. So it's absolutely exceptional. And just one experience in my life. But I'll give you a professional experience. So moving forward, you heard in the intro, I run a company called Electra Health. It's a multidisciplinary clinic. We have about 70 people in our company right now. And it's incredible to look back and see how this was built. And I started that company in 160 square feet. Our first treatment room was 10 by 10. And now we're very big, and it's just amazing to be a part of they're just a good group of people, you know, and looking back, you're like, wow, this is a fun community to be a part of. And how did it happen? Well, I'll tell you, hunger, focus, and action. And the hunger was, when I'm growing up, no one would hire me. I couldn't get a job. I remember a job this guy gave me. It was a janitor job. For anybody who is up in my age, they'll remember Bridges. Actually, Bridges is still there. But Kettle of Fish, it's gone now. Those are the two restaurants I used to clean from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning. Now, I didn't tell this guy that I couldn't see because I learned my lesson before. When you tell him you didn't see, it's like, I can't quite figure out a job for you, but, I hope the best. But this guy hired me, but of course it didn't take long, and he realized that my mopping skill wasn't that good, right? And then, but he kept me going. I was a nice guy, he was a nice guy. I was forever grateful for that opportunity, but boy, did it ever teach me, you better get hungry, because that really wasn't what I wanted to be doing. And so again, I had no other opportunity but to succeed. And then focus. Well, focus is a very good thing in business. And here's the thing, some people focus on the problem, some people focus on the solution. I learned early, you better focus on the solution. So in business, when you focus on the solution and get it right, you're rewarded. So it was very good for me. The other thing, in action, what happens again in business, if you're not acting and your competitor is acting and they're acting successfully, you're going out of business. And with the statistics we've all heard, 80% of business go out of business in 5 years. Of those who make it to 10, 1% survive, and it doesn't even mean they're successful. So in business, boy, did I ever take those experiences as a young kid and bring them forward. And again, it's not all roses. I mean, I've had so many failures. I mean, it's been brutal, some of the things I've gone through. But I always focused on the solution. So those are my 3 ingredients: hunger, focus, and action. Now, what I'd like to leave you with, the trump card of it all is, and I like to call it my resilience hack. I messed that whole part up, I can't believe it. I wanted to say hack so bad. So it's my resilience. Okay, here it comes. Okay, so what you need to do is volunteer. Okay, and again, this isn't a promo for the Y, but I love the Y. So it kind of is. But here's the thing about volunteering. When you step out and you lend a hand and you say, hey, brother, sister, I'm here to support you for whatever they need, it is going to fill your heart up. You are going to be filled with the fuel that will give you the resilience you need. And so here, when you go volunteer, I'll give you this one tip, okay? Very important. Go volunteer with people that have more problems than you, okay? Now, I say this not in a cheeky way, but in a very nice way. So when I was young, I remember, as I was losing my eyesight, there was a guy I was skiing with, he was losing his eyesight and his hearing. And I remember going, whoa, unbelievable how he is still going through life with such gusto, and he's going deaf. And what it does is it allows you to put your problems in perspective. And unfortunately, today we're addicted to our problems. And I suggest we get addicted to our solutions. And the best way of doing that is changing the meaning around the problem that you have. And that's what that will do for you. The second part of what that's going to do for you is, again, it's going to fill your heart up. It is going to give you the fuel. It is going to give you the gratitude that allows you to move forward. So when those resilient times are needed, you have it. So there's my resilience hat. Those are my 3 tips for focus action. And I'll let you know what I'm doing right now. So I talked about Canadian Blind Ice Hockey. So we travel across Canada, I volunteer my time, I also donate money to this organization. It means everything to me. I've been playing blind ice hockey for 20 years. It truly has brought ultimate joy in my life through all the highs and the lows. And the greatest thing it does for me now is we go to different events, and I'll give you one experience when we were in Toronto with Maria and her son Diego. And we get the kids out on the ice, and I particularly like 5 to 12, because the 5 to 12-year-olds just want to have fun. You know, they're not all caught up in being blind and going, oh my God, what's going to happen? They just get out there and enjoy themselves. And then what I do is I talk to the parents. And now here's the problem with the parents. They're caught up in that situation. They're really concerned. They are truly fearful of what's going to happen. And Maria was truly fearful of what's going to happen to her son. And she was sad. And she had guilt. I mean, there were so many things going on with Maria. And I just sit there and listen to her. And at the end of it, I said, hey, Maria, take a look at Diego. Is he having a good time? And she said, well, yeah, this is the best time. He loves coming out and playing hockey. I was like, there's your answer. Your son is going to have an amazing time because he is having an amazing time. So all you need to do is take your son, nurture him, support him, and love him. And he is going to grow up better than the average person. Because not only is he going to have all the support and love that you're going to give him, he's going to have the resilience of going through this condition and making it. And that really has actually changed the way I look. And, well, I'll never stop doing it. I mean, it's number one in my life. Because to see the fact, because I know when I was 9, and I know my mom, I had been through these experiences, and to see the fact of what can happen when you tie those things together, when you nurture someone, when you support someone, when you love someone, it's limitless what you can do. So I'd like to leave you today with, of course, what I've told you, but here it is. Go out there, have an exceptional life, have a fun time of it, and enjoy resiliency. Thank you.